my name is Noah Parks and I'm a recent graduate of Anderson University. I'm licensed in elementary education and I have minors in special education and history. I'm going to share with you today what I know, believe, have done, or will do in regards to my educational philosophy. First of all, I know that each learner comes to the classroom with a different set of values and beliefs, cultures, language, and development. With that being said, I also know that the classroom should reflect the development of the classroom or the students as a whole. So in a 4th, 5th, and 6th grade classroom, I probably will not include centers for play, kitchen, and dress up and stuff like that, whereas in a primary classroom for K through 3, I might include that. In addition, I also know that it is important to teach the students where they are at, so within their zone of proximal development. It is important to take into account their physical, social, emotional, and cognitive development when planning lessons. I believe that in order to be the best teacher that I can be, I have to be able to account and accommodate students that are different in their academic development, their social development, physical development, and cognitive development. In doing so, I can provide lessons for students who are at, below, or above grade level. I can also accommodate for students who may have IEPs or are English language learners. In my experiences at AU, I have designed many classrooms that reflect the zone of proximal development for the students that I plan on teaching. In one class, I developed a classroom design for students who were in K through 2, whereas in another classroom design, I've had to design a classroom for older students in 4th through 6th grade. The way that I set up the classroom was vastly different as younger students want to be more social and need that more social interaction, whereas the older students value their space a little bit more. I have also had to do a project in which I looked at a child throughout his development and planned a day in his life. So for one age group, or for one of his ages, he was in the younger primary grades. I planned everything he did based off of his development. I've also done that for that same pretend student for their intermediate grades and like middle school and early high school age. I have also written lesson plans in which I've included extra plans for students who are at, below, and above grade level, as well as providing accommodations that may be needed for students with IEPs or English language learners. Another thing I know is that it's important for me to know and understand all the content that I'm going to be teaching to my students. It is also important that while I'm teaching that content, I am also teaching the skills of creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. I can do those by constantly researching new information on what I'm going to be teaching and making interdisciplinary lesson plans and curriculum so that my students can learn 2 or more subjects at one time and see how they work together and end up using those in their further education and in their career. Some things that I have done in regards to learning content, understanding content, and teaching content is passing my content area exams. It's important that I've been able to pass these exams because it shows that I know what I need to know in order to teach students K through 5 in the areas of social studies, English, reading, math, science, PE, and art. In addition, I have created lesson plans that are interdisciplinary. I've created lesson plans that are both teaching language skills, writing skills, and social studies skills, as well as teaching lessons that are math and science integrated together. I've also created activities that are both for social studies and reading and that are for both science and math. I think it's important that I've been able to do these things because it shows that it's important to me and it's something that I want to continue to do in my classroom. Another thing I will do is continuously research the evidence-based practices for each content area so that I can teach my students in the most effective way possible, shown through evidence. Another thing I know is that assessment should be and is the backbone to instruction planning and choosing strategies to teach with. I know that it is important to use multiple forms of assessment when it comes to collecting student data, whether it be informal or formal assessment or formative or summative assessment. I should never move on until the data shows that my students are ready for something new. In addition, I also know that when planning for instruction, I need to include accommodations for students with IEPs and how I can make the instruction available for students who are at, below, and above grade level, as well as students who are English language learners. It's also important that I am choosing instructional strategies not based on how I learn best, but how my students learn best. I'm probably going to have to teach one thing in multiple ways so that students of all learning types can pick up and have access to the material taught. I believe that it is important to use assessment when you're planning for instruction and when you are choosing strategies. The assessment will give me an idea of what my students know, can do, and how they learn best. I have some experience with assessment, as I have actually given assessment to a student in which I was doing one-on-one tutoring with. When I first met with her, I assessed her abilities in reading and created my lesson plans for her based off of those assessments. I've also had to do informal assessments when working with students with autism and seeing when they're ready to move on in instruction or what is still not making sense to them. When choosing strategies, I have and plan to continue researching the best strategies possible, the best strategies out there. I also plan to create lesson plans that are made for students who are linguistic learners, spatial learners, and those learners who really just need the hands-on experience. The last thing I know is that it is important for me to continuously develop in my professional world and be collaborating with teachers, administration, parents, and other types of stakeholders. I know that it's important for me to continuously develop my skills because there's new stuff out there every day. I believe it's important because if I am not staying up with what is coming out in research, such as evidence-based practices and instructional strategies, if I'm not keeping up to date with those, then I am becoming less and less effective. Some things that I've done to develop professionally are attending patents and focus on inclusion conferences, as well as working jobs I know are going to get me experience with kids, such as working at a summer camp and working as an assistant family teacher at the Indiana United Methodist Children's Home. Both of those experiences have gotten me involved with students and youth of different abilities, of different ages, and have given me the ability to use evidence-based practices every day while working. I also know that it's important to collaborate with administration, teachers, and other stakeholders such as parents or caseworkers, because at the end of the day, those people are going to help me more than I'm going to be able to help myself. Veteran teachers are going to help me understand things better. They're going to have more experience and more advice to give me than I am coming in with zero experience as a teacher. In addition, I believe it is important to collaborate and be a stakeholder within the community because it shows your students how they can collaborate. Some things I have done or plan to do: I have worked at the Indiana United Methodist Children's Home, where I was having to collaborate with other family teachers and with case managers and social workers on a daily basis. In addition, I plan to join at least one committee as a teacher, and I would love to coach in some capacity in swimming or another sport that I have some knowledge in my community. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that by me showing you the things that I know, believe, and can do within my educational philosophy, that it has persuaded you in some way to hire me. Thank you again.